because I just turned my fan off and it's about 36 degrees outside. Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new video, and I am sorry for the late uploads and weird uploads recently, but I'm going to push that aside because I know all of you want to hear my opinion on Thor Love and Thunder. Well, I feel like I'm going to have a biased view on it regardless, because I was invited to watch the movie 2 days earlier at the Thor Love and Thunder London premiere. So while a lot of people may think that will cause a lot of biased opinions, I can understand that. So let's take that away from the fact. Let's take away from the fact I was at the premiere. I was never there. Would I still love it? Probably not. Thor Love and Thunder is not a great movie, but it's not a bad movie either. But I'm going to get all into it now. I probably should start off by giving you what I enjoyed about Thor, or at least what I liked about it, so you guys can understand why I think it's not a bad movie. But that doesn't entirely mean I disagree with everyone's points on certain aspects of the movie. So we'll get into it. Jane's story had to be like one of the best aspects of Thor. Thor 4, Thor 5, I don't care. It had to be one of the best aspects of Love and Thunder, and I honestly don't care what anybody says. Jane's story in this is absolutely beautiful. Now, take it from someone who can't watch The Dark World because it's too boring, and someone who's currently in the midst of watching Thor 1 and is about 20 or so minutes in. Jane's character is amazing. I mean, I love this character. I didn't expect to love this character, yet I did. The way they treated her in Love and Thunder is absolutely fantastic, and the whole cancer thing is something I haven't really seen Marvel do before. Actually, I'm not a big fan of DC, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really even see DC do this either. The whole cancer aspect is a touching thing, because cancer is such a difficult battle in and of itself. I was never there to watch the second end credit scene. I left because my phone was on 2%, and honestly, I'm not sitting through credits. So I left after the first post-credit scene. And when I did, I went online and found out that the second post-credit scene is Jane entering Valhalla.
It's established in the movie that to get to Valhalla you have to die in battle, yet Jane did not die in the fight with Gore, but she still ended up there. Why? Because she was fighting a constant battle with cancer for months. Even then, she still died a warrior.
Now, that's heartwarming in a sense. It actually is, because let's consider this. Cancer is a difficult thing. To battle cancer as well is vicious, it's difficult, it hurts, it's painful. To get through it, because it's a reoccurring battle, no matter which side you're probably going to, it's still a battle. And it's just touching the way they say that even if you have cancer, even if you're not physically fighting and beating down people, you fighting to save yourself is still being a hero, because remember that you matter. And I don't think a lot of people really say that enough. You know, you hear a lot of mental health commercials and whatnot about you matter, your life matters, and to show that in this movie is a really touching subject in my opinion, and that is one of the things I love about this movie. Comedy. So everybody disliked comedy in Ragnarok, and they disliked comedy in this one. Now, I watched Ragnarok and I can agree solely with the fact that the humor is consistent. It keeps coming, it keeps coming, it keeps coming, it does not stop. Now, with Love and Thunder, I saw it, but I think you have to realize that Thor Love and Thunder is also a romantic comedy. It's gonna have comedy, but you are right in saying that there is such serious points in this story that don't feel like they're getting taken seriously. But with me, I kind of enjoyed the comedy in this movie. It's not too childish, it's not fart jokes or anything, but obviously there are jokes in it that are probably a bit weird and goofy, you know, like the one where he's right behind me. You know, it's 2022, what are you doing? The story is actually entertaining. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I was at the premiere, I didn't want to watch this movie at first, and it's because Thor usually has these... With me, the thing about Marvel movies is I really love the street level Marvel movies. You know, the whole New York fight scenes, the city fight scenes, and when it gets into all the mythological, you know, big creatures fighting in the woods or fighting on another planet, it sort of makes me feel mixed. Like, I don't enjoy that type of stuff as much as I enjoyed the street level fighting. The opening of Shang-Chi was absolutely fantastic, and it got me straight into the movie, and I kept watching, and even in the end I still enjoyed the movie. That's the type of stuff I love seeing. So when I looked at Love and Thunder and I remembered that in the end of Endgame Thor went on the Guardian's ship, I had a feeling that it was just going to be otherworldly battles and whatnot, which it wasn't a problem. But to see New Asgard and whatnot, to see the fight scene in New Asgard, I actually enjoyed that. You cannot tell me the visuals in this movie are abhorrent or horrible, because they really aren't. When we were going back to Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, there was something off about the whole color grading. And I hate to get into it because I remember everyone arguing about this and it drove me nuts. Color grading is probably a big issue in Marvel back in the times. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp was extremely gay. Ant-Man and the Wasp was extremely great, but then came Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness actually had beautiful visuals and color grading. It was unreal. Watching that movie did not feel like a Marvel movie at all, and I can probably tell you that all of my other friends said the exact same thing. The absolute unreal aspect of this, it just did not feel like a Marvel movie at all. It didn't feel like we were watching MCU. And then Love and Thunder came and I was wondering, okay, so it's not Sam Raimi directed. It's not gonna be as colorful, as visual, as fluent as Multiverse of Madness was, but I was wrong. Thor Love and Thunder was equally as good. The visuals in it were Guardians level beautiful, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it. It was insane. It was unreal. The visuals had to be one of my favorite things about Thor Love and Thunder, because even with the title card, the title screen, the posters, all of it looked so colorful, vibrant, and synthy. Does that make sense? Synthy. Absolutely amazing. Even the black and white segments in the movie were still fantastic. Nothing looked awful about that. Enjoyable, absolute incredible masterpiece. And pretty much that's all I can explain for what I liked about Thor Love and Thunder. That sounds like a bad thing, because now what am I going to say for my dislikes? Quite a few. These aren't really my dislikes, more are they the problems that a lot of people are mentioning that I kind of agree with. I didn't hate the movie because of these, but they did throw me off. The CGI was god awful. Honestly, you didn't even need me to tell you that the CGI in a lot of aspects of the film were god awful. I don't actually know what went wrong there, but I'm actually noticing this a lot, but not mainly in the movies as much as in the Disney Plus shows. I don't actually know what's going on, because I've noticed this quite a lot in Phase 4, mainly in the Disney Plus shows. The CGI drives me insane. Why is it so awful? I've got no idea. And I've noticed this recently. Why is this green screen becoming so obvious? Why is it so noticeable now? I have no idea. There is a scene in this movie that a lot of people are laughing about on Twitter, and that is the scene where Axel, Heimdall's kid, sort of just pops up on the screen like some Discord VC or something. It just drives me insane. Like, it's such a good movie, but it's been pegged down by something like CGI. In Multiverse of Madness, the CGI was abhorrent in a lot of aspects. Why? I have no idea. And I'm guessing there is something with crunch time, deadlines, a lot of stress, and a lot of overload of work being put onto the VFX artist, which is disgusting, really. And Marvel actually needs to get their stuff together. So the CGI was bad. But then again, my favorite Spider-Man movies are the Raimi trilogy, which notably had pretty bad CGI. Yet I still love the movies. CGI does not kick a movie all the way down to the bottom to me. If the CGI is bad, I could put up with it. I'll still enjoy the movie. Even if it's noticeably bad, I would still enjoy the movie, because to me, the quality of a movie is not based on certain CGI. It's based on the movie as a whole, the story, the visuals, how the direction was done, how the acting was done. A lot of aspects go into a movie, so if a CGI was bad, I'm not going to peg the movie all the way down, but I do have to knock it down a bit, because you have to be realistic. Everything in a movie has to be good for a movie to be great. You can't have these slight little slip-ups with CGI and whatnot. You want to keep that at a perfect level to get a good movie, so if you're messing up there, then expect it to be knocked down a bit. Duration. Now, hear me out. A lot of us, well, mainly probably just me and a few other people, really enjoyed Venom 1 and Venom 2. But you know what my biggest dislike about both Venom movies are? How bloody short they are. They start and they go by so fast, you forget that you were watching the movie. It feels like the runtime of a TV show episode. Why are they so short? I have no idea. And now Thor Love and Thunder is exactly like this. Even Doctor Strange felt like this as well. For some reason, these movies, they just zoom by so fast. It doesn't even feel like you're watching a movie anymore. Sat in Thor Love and Thunder, it was insane how fast the time was going by. But We got seated at 7:15 p.m. and the only reason we probably got out about 10 or 11 o'clock at night was not because of the runtime of the movie. It was because the actors had come in and they were doing a Q&A with us, and we had to sit there for 15-20 minutes doing nothing. So literally, it's just, why are these movies so short now? And not only so short, the pacing of these movies are so fast. It's wild how the minute I got there, I see Thor losing the weight, I see Thor fighting with the Guardians, and the next second, Jane becomes Thor. They make a plan to get Gore. Gore kills one god, and then suddenly they go to meet Zeus, and it's all so quick. It's just insane. Which also brings me to my next point. What was the point of having the Guardians in the poster? What was the point of promoting the Guardians so much if you only ever see them for the first couple of minutes? I was disappointed with how they handled the Guardians. I really wanted to see more of Thor and the Guardians, because in Endgame we saw this little comedic sort of group dynamic going on, and I really enjoyed it, and I was thoroughly excited to see what they do with the Guardians in this movie, and they didn't even do that much. They just used for a bit and then they were gone. I wanted to see more of the Guardians. I love the Guardians, and hopefully we are going to see more of them in the Guardians movie, because it's the Guardians movie. It's just disappointing because you promoted the Guardians as if they were going to be a big aspect to this story, and then we don't see them after 5 minutes. Oh well, I guess that's pretty much it. What else to talk? Oh yeah, Forrest Al Gore is not a bad villain. Weird villain. Yeah, he looked like a convincing villain, he sounded like one, and thanks to Patrick Bateman, it was absolutely killed the role. It was amazing. For some reason, Gore is, I don't know what he is, I don't know what planet he's from, I don't know anything, I'm not that, I don't know. But why has he got a British accent? You know, I'm supposed to be scared by this villain, or at least terrified or shocked to my core, but this villain literally sounds like a primary school teacher. It just drives me insane. With the whole telling the kid story in the cage, what was that? It was weird. Like, he's a good villain, don't get me wrong, he's not the worst villain, but some aspects like that whole cage scene where he snaps the snake's head off, it threw me off of him as a villain, and it just makes him look like a goof. But yeah, it just threw me off, and I guess that's pretty much it. Now I want to go back to some things I think the movie did perfectly, and sort of comparisons to the older Thor movies, because we have to actually go into that. Phase 4 beyond Shang-Chi is absolutely weird. The CGI in a lot of the TV shows, the pacing of the TV shows, the episodes, it's a bit weird. Post Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'll say, it all went downhill. WandaVision, and you can't lie about this, WandaVision was a great series. Just when it reached episode 9, it sort of threw itself under the bus, and I don't know why it did that. Flipping it, it's hot. Falcon and the Winter Soldier itself was pretty much forgettable, but it was not a bad series. Loki, etc., everything was good. But what on earth is going on with the Marvel shows now? Miss Marvel, before you say anything, as a Muslim Pakistani person myself, Miss Marvel is fantastic. The detail put into understanding the religion and the culture was just fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. But what on earth is the storyline? Like, who with these villains and these bad guys, and the way the story is being paced is so goofy and weird. I don't understand. Yeah, so the Disney Plus Marvel shows have really caused a divide in the Marvel community, and obviously given the opportunity for a lot of the DC fans to just sort of crap on Marvel, which 100% at this point, as a Marvel fan, you are in the right to. I'm not even going to deny you that option, because I don't actually know what they're doing with the TV shows. For some reason it feels like Marvel have known that they're successful, and that they've just stopped trying. Like, that's what it feels like at this rate. And you're back to Thor. Thor Love and Thunder, Thor the Dark World, Thor Ragnarok, Thor 1. A massive difference in this is the portrayal of Thor, who goes from serious to just goofy and comical. I like that. I don't honestly care what anybody says, but to me, Thor in Avengers compared to Thor in Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, I just prefer the newer version of Thor. You need to realize that yes, we're not all hardcore Marvel fans who want to see Thor be angry, serious God of Thunder, but a lot of us really just want to see a good movie, and having Thor play this sort of character is enjoyable. It makes the movie go faster, it makes the movie worth watching. The whole comical aspect of Thor is the best change they've done to the character. So I'm in the midst of watching Thor 1, and even the minute I opened up Thor 1, the entire movie felt just extremely different. The camera angles, the shots, they're reminiscent of a Transformers movie, and compared to the newer version of Marvel movies, there is so much more going on in the older ones. There is so much more with the camera directing, so much more with the visuals, so much more with just with everything. There is so much fluid and movement in a lot of the older Marvel movies compared to the newer ones. That does disappoint me because it feels like now Marvel knows they don't have to try anymore. They've got the fans, they've got the audience. They know they can throw a movie together, put in a screaming goat and some fart jokes, and then there you go, you can send that movie out and everyone's gonna love it. That is what it feels like recently. Am I wrong? Maybe, because I'm not Kevin Feige. I don't actually know what they're planning or what they're doing, but it does throw me off the way that these movies are just slowly gone from what I think to be some actual really good movie directing and movie choices to now what's looking like stale, old and repetitive. It is disappointing. I can definitely agree with some people when they say that the older Thor movies definitely had a kick to them that the newer ones aren't having. But that doesn't dismiss the newer ones as bad movies. These movies are still good. Ragnarok and Love and Thunder were fantastic, and I am excited to see more Thor work. Doesn't mean I hate the old movies. Not seen Dark World, so I'm not going to judge that one yet. But Thor 1 so far, pretty good movie. The new Thor films are extremely misunderstood. A lot of people just dismiss them to the side as stupid and ridiculous, but you need to watch these movies because there are still good stories and good storylines and good plot and good. It's a good movie basically. There are good movies hidden inside your opinion of these movies. You need to actually watch these films. A lot of people would understandably dismiss Love and Thunder after watching Ragnarok because they feel like, oh, it's another stupid, goofy, comical film. But you need to stop letting that opinion ruin future movies for you, because imagine if you said the same thing about Age of Ultron and then you don't go and watch Infinity War and Endgame. You're missing out on so much because simply you can't let go of that opinion. Give these movies a chance is simply all I ask you to do. Because yes, a lot of the opinions right now on Love and Thunder kind of are right. The comedy-wise stuff I disagree with, but the CGI stuff I agree with, and a lot of other aspects I do agree with. So hear me out on this. Yes, the opinions are very divided on Twitter right now, very divided everywhere on Thor Love and Thunder. So my honest recommendation to people who don't want to watch this movie because he said it was a bad movie, they said it's bad CGI, give the movie a chance. If you still don't like it, that is fine, because as long as you've given that chance to watch the movie and ignore these opinions, to watch the movie and form your own opinion from watching it, that is fine. But it's just the people who decide that the movie is awful without bothering to even open up and watch a second of it. That's what I disagree with. That's why I believe people need to sort of stop listening to other people's opinions and form their own, because at the end of the day, it's your opinion. You know what I mean? If I like the movie and hundreds of other people don't like it, am I going to be bothered by that? No, not really, because at the end of the day, I watched it and I liked it. So if you watched it and didn't like it, that's got nothing to do with me. So to give my final opinions on Thor Love and Thunder, yes, there are a lot of aspects that bring the movie down from being a great movie. But there are also quite a lot of aspects that bring it up from being a bad movie. Thor Love and Thunder is a good movie, but it is not a great movie and it is not a bad movie. But then again, that's just my opinion. I recommend you go and form your own by watching the movie. This video is simply just my opinion, my thoughts, and what I thought of the movie. So please don't take it to heart as me trying to base it off as being factual evidence or anything. It's honestly, at the end of the day, this video is just my opinion. Okay, honestly, guys, thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, leave a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content coming soon. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.